JB, can you talk about the aggressiveness we saw tonight from Jermichael Green and how important moving forward that is to have him on the boards, doing the things he did tonight, blocking shots?
I think it's huge for us. He sets the tone from that manner for our team. As far as his aggressiveness, he makes those energizing plays that everybody else feeds off of. And as a coach, if you got a guy who can go out and get you a double-double and you don't have to call a play for him, that's huge. You can depend on him. You can count on him. And, he's solid on both ends of the floor. He does a great job defensively. We haven't put him in a ton of switch situations yet, but he's got the ability to do that as well. So, it's good for him to show, everybody that emotion, that energy, and then guys kind of follow him.
At the opposite end of the spectrum, at that position, a little bit of a rough night for Jaron. 19 years old, his first games. What do you see out of him in terms of getting his feet wet?
It's going to take time, and all of us need to be patient with him. His ceiling is extremely high, and he will get there. There's no doubt about it. But it's going to be a process for him. Learning to play against this level of talent every single night isn't easy. The hardest part of becoming the player we believe he's going to become is finding that consistency. And you go back and you look at all the guys, that had come in sort of at his age, and most of them had their ups and downs their first year. But he's got the, confidence in his ability. He's got the mental toughness to carry through adversity and understand that he is going through a process. So he'll show up tomorrow and he'll work his tail off. There's no doubt about it. Shoot around, and then he'll come back and play in the game. And I'm willing to bet you that he'll have a better night tomorrow than he did today.
JB, what was it about Marshawn at the end of last year that convinced you guys that wasn't a fluke, that's who he is going to be, and what convinces you that he's going to continue to have games like he did tonight for you guys?
He has a rare ability that a lot of people don't have, and he has the ability to put the ball in the basket. There's not too many guys who are more natural scorers than he is. However you want it, he can give it to you. He can catch and shoot. He can put it on the floor and create. He's got floaters. He's got runners. Any kind of way he needs to score the ball, he can score. And we saw that last year. And he's had a history. If you go back and when he was even young, coming out of school, like his ability to score the ball we could see it then. But what's difficult for a young guy, playing on teams with veterans is, those veteran guys are going to be the guys that are scoring the ball. So, he had to kind of take a roundabout journey to get to where he is now. But, the confidence level, and his teammates love it. That's the best part about it. When you got a guy like that, sometimes those guys can be hogs and their teammates get frustrated and upset. But because of his playmaking ability and his willingness to pass as well, his teammates love it when he gets going, because now they know, they're going to put two guys on him. They're going to be open, and he'll make the right play.
JD, what's the plan for the backup point guard rotation? Shelvin played tonight and had the minutes last game, and Andrew was the first call off the bench.
We're just giving everybody a look right now. I think Shelvin's history around the league and what he's done through training camp, we have a really good idea of who Shelvin is. We've been pleased with the job that he's done, and he's lived up to our expectations. So, Andrew grew for us last year during some tough times and played well. So, want to give him a shot, give him an opportunity to play against other guys, other teams, and not just in practice, and see what he can do. In practice, there's so many guards that we have, and we're trying to get them all on the floor. You don't get extended reps. So I wanted to give him an opportunity to get those reps tonight.
Coach, before the season started, you spoke about being able to go 12, 13 deep on your bench and get production. Other than the scoring burst from Marshawn, what did you get out of the bench tonight in terms of defense, rebounds, those types of things, and how do you see yourself building on that throughout the rest of the preseason?
Well, we'll continue to, and those guys, their minutes will start to grow as our rotations kind of settle. They'll get a feel for what their role will be as we go forward. A guy like Omri Caspi, he's the guy who can come in at any moment and give you a spark. I think we saw that tonight. He can do things, as far as running the floor, offensive rebounds and defensive rebound and push it and play make. that there's going to be times where the games are, are slow and they're kind of like we're playing in mud. He's a guy you can throw in, and he always changes the energy of the game. So you put him in with a guy like Marshawn, and you're able to create those types of situations. They can play a great two-man game with one another. And, like I said, we expect Jaron to continue to improve, and we expect him to have an impact on what we're doing. I still think, with his ability to defend, you can leave him on the floor, and he can impact the game defensively in ways that other people can't. So I think there's a nice balance there. Playing with the wing rotation right now, but I think we got a lot of depth, and I think we got a lot of good guys, again, who are willing to sacrifice, and on some nights understand that they might not play. But 2 nights from now, there's no hangover. They go out, they play, and they share them with their teammates.
It was Utah's first NBA game, even though it was a preseason game, but it kind of showed that he kind of struggled. What was the impression, how he played today?
Like it was his first game in the NBA. I think that was kind of a rough play for him when he first walked in the game, but he was doing what he was supposed to do. He was in the position as a weak side defender to come over and help. He was in the right position. The guy just made a great play over the top. But I bet there was some nerves there and some jitters. But he's had a great training camp. He's continued to fight through that shoulder injury. He's continued to work. So we're sure and confident that over time he'll develop into the player we think he can be, which is as a guy that can help and be a rotation player.
Coach, you've gotten good minutes out of Chandler on offense and defense in the first 2 games. What are your impressions on this play so far?
Knock on wood, we're all optimistic that he's returned to form. And I think when we signed Chandler a couple years ago, this was the guy we were expecting to be here. And just because of injury, he hasn't been able to be the player that he would like to be and that we need him to be as a group. This summer was the most productive summer he was able to have as far as actual work on the floor. The previous summers he was just doing so much work on his body and he couldn't get on the floor because of all the pounding. But this summer he was able to do it. He hasn't missed a day of training camp. He hasn't missed a 2 a day. He hasn't sat out a rep. So hopefully things continue this way. And again, he's not dealing with any soreness or anything like that in those knees. So this is the guy we expected when we signed him a couple years ago.
JB, what do you need to accomplish in your final 3 preseason games and the rest of the practices leading up to the opening game of the regular season?
We just need to solidify our habits. We've put a defensive system in place, an offensive system in place, and we just need to continue to pay attention to all the small things. That's the most important thing for us. The way we see it is, if we're better at the small things and do those more times than not and more times than our opponent, then the results will be the way that we want them to go. So we've got to form habits. You get guys, our group hadn't played since last April. You bring them in here, put in a new system, they're playing with new guys, so they need the reps at working at positioning on the floor, setting screens, how you find the open man, where the open man's going to be, and how that guy that you're playing with likes the ball, where he likes to receive it. So all those small things that we got to pay attention to and be great at, we got to continue to work and focus on those.
Coach, piggybacking on what Anthony asked, Parsons has only played 1 back-to-back set in his 2 years since he's been here. Are you planning on giving that a test tomorrow night?
He'll play tomorrow.
Coach, last 7 minutes of the game, it seems like a team lost a function. Does that make any concern for you?
No. We had a group of young guys out there on the floor. We had some guys playing out of position. I just wanted everybody to get an opportunity to play. We've had some guys that didn't get a chance to play in the previous preseason game. I think it's important for those guys to just get an opportunity to get on the floor. So we put them on the floor. And, my fault. I probably put them in some positions that they weren't comfortable in. But I just wanted them to get the experience to be on the floor with their teammates.
Last question.
Coach, you had Garrett Temple.
You all right?
I'm getting attacked over here. You had Garrett Temple as shooting guard in the first game. You had Dylan this game. Did you see something different, or what are you particularly looking for at shooting guard?
Just the combinations. We'll change it up again tomorrow. We want to see, how he they play with one another, how they complement, you know, the guys that we feel have solidified themselves as starters, and then how they complement the bench. You know, it's important that we put together a unit that can play for 48 minutes. You know, we don't want to have a unit that's really good for the first, you know, 6-8 minutes, and we make some subs and go to the bench, and it takes a step down. You know, we feel like our depth can be one of our weapons, so we want to make sure that both of those units are balanced, so that, you know, maybe we go against other teams' second units and we feel like we got a leg up there and we can make a run instead of just, you know, keeping it even or, you know, losing a few points. So that's what we're looking for, is the best combinations that we can put together for 48.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thanks, Coach.